In my hand are the Super 16. What is the Super 16, you may ask? Well, these are my Super 16 movies of all time. So, in this video, I'll be discussing all 16. Grab your popcorn and let's get this motherfucker started. Hello, it's me. My name's Abraham from Rack Does Movies, and this is the first video on the channel. If you probably know this from my Fortnite days and my video game channel days, no you don't. But today, this is like the first video, so we're just gonna get it started. These are the best 16 movies that I personally love. Obviously, these opinions are these are opinions, so build your own from my 16, or diss all my 16. People on Twitter do it already. But here we go with number 16. In at number 16 is The Breakfast Club, from 1985, directed by John Hughes. Now, I have the Criterion for this, which is also back there. That's how much I like this movie. I still like it. But to me, this film is probably the quintessential teenage film. It deals with a lot of things culturally. In the 80s, it takes place in one room. You meet all the characters. You're not focusing on what kind of drugs they're taking or what kind of hijinks they're getting into. It's really just one character-driven piece about 5 people who don't mesh well at all. It shows a really good side of 80s Americana, to me anyway, and it also shows how all of these characters are not perfect whatsoever. Bender in the whole film will either piss you off or make you think that he is the strongest character in the film.
A naked blonde walks into a bar with a poodle under one arm and a 2-foot salami under the other. She lays the poodle on the table. Bartender says, "I suppose you won't be needing a drink." Naked lady says, "Oh, shit!"
Jesus Christ almighty!
Forgot my pencil.
They go through a lot of changes. It shows how they are growing up in this 80s America, and it has some really good cinematography to it. To me, this is probably my favorite John Hughes film. I know a lot of people like Ferris Bueller more. I know people like Weird Science and 16 Candles more for some reason, but I do think that the whole idea of the film, of it being, people that don't really connect outside of the classroom, that don't connect at all, coming together in this one single room, kind of elevates that, lifts that a little bit. That scene where they're all in the library, on the library floor, talking about how they got there, what kind of things they deal with at home, and what they do outside of school, outside of their cliques, makes it so it makes it so different. It makes it different. It gives depth. And with John Hughes and with 80s movies, you didn't get that much depth, especially in teen movies, because comparing this to 16 Candles is like comparing butter to it's not butter. They're two different things. So I think that this film kind of captures what it is to be a teenager. And obviously, we're in 2026. There's obviously going to be some things in this film that don't age well, especially their use of the F slur. But even then, it's still a perfect film and captures how good a teenager's angst can be, how everything can change on a dime, and yeah, I think the ending is perfect too. They all go their separate ways, and then you're just kind of left with, what do they do? So to be honest, this one starting off at number 16 is a perfect like gateway into this. There are 15 more. Here we go. In at number 15, we have Dune Part 2. Now, if you follow me on Letterboxd, it's gonna be like right here anyway. That's where you can follow me. You will know that I despised the first one, and I had no hope coming into the second one. I had zero hope, zero anything about going into Part 2. And then I finally saw it, and I was like, hold on. I understand it now. I get it. It's like that meme of Danny DeVito with his eyes and the camera zooming into him, and he's just going like, that is how I felt about Dune Part 2. Now, in my opinion, the reason why I think this works really well as not only a sequel, but as one of my favorite movies of all time, is that it kind of follows kind of like a Godfather arc. If you don't know, like the Godfather 1 and 2 are kind of like held to this high regard, and I know not a lot of people like using that reference, but going from Godfather 1 to where Michael turns by the end of the movie, you see that at the start of Part 2. And that's where kind of Part 2, where Dune Part 2 and Godfather Part 2 kind of have that similarity to me. And I think Dune Part 2 does it better, with Paul finding his footing with the Fremen, Paul doing everything he can to join everyone together and fight this cause for the freedom of Arrakis, him understanding the different cultures and beliefs and getting his name, getting his Fremen name and everything. It makes it so much, it's all paced so well that I think that doing it in 2 hours and 40 minutes does it justice. It does it justice. I thought his whole arc from 1 and 2, while 1 kind of slowed it down, 2 sped it up, and it made it so it's like, wow, he is that guy. He is that man. And obviously there are so many other characters too that get this kind of treatment. I mean, Chani knowing that he's all right in this, and she thinks that Paul's gonna like do all this shit with her people and enslave them, is like a perfect ascension into her arc going into Part 3, even though I've never read the books, so I don't know what she does. This is just coming from me as someone who's only seen the movies. But it also does like crazy good things, because, you know, we have Aaliyah now coming into the story, and Jessica drinking the Forbidden Powerade and getting all of the signals that Aaliyah's been given her, and it's against this backdrop of orange and dirt and desert, but it makes it so much more interesting when it's just there. It's just there, and it gives it ambiance, and it sets the scenes really, really, really well. Like, it has good storytelling, good pacing, the writing is phenomenal.
I am Paul Muad'Dib Atreides, Duke of Arrakis! Eruditina Heshidani, Nelisan Al-Gai, Ruin Dimenaruk, Ashini! Listen, Al-Gai!
Pacing, the writing is phenomenal. I think all of the visual effects, the 2 Oscars that it won, I think deserved it the most, considering that like the visual effects look really good, like the sandworms coming out and you see them plunge into the desert, all 3 of them. That was aura. that was aura. And I mean, even then, having that backdrop score of Zimmer, oh my goodness, this was amazing. I think that this is the kind of storytelling that Denis Villeneuve thrives on. I didn't like part 1 because of how like slow it was, but I think on a rewatch when part 3 starts, getting the tickets rolled out and we're getting closer to that time, I'll probably revisit both of these and kind of see if my opinion changes. But Dune Part 2 made such a lasting impression with me that I was just kind of like, you know what? It's going to slide in at number 15 for me. I think I was wrong about Dune, Part 1 anyway, and the whole franchise. But Part 2 really solidified it for me, and I will be seated for Dune Part 3. They just got to drop the tickets, like, now. Warner Brothers, come on. Let's make it happen. In at number 14 is Dog Day Afternoon. This film is, I think, the only true story? No, number 3 is also a true story. So this one is really unique to me. Now, this comes up during the run of Pacino in the 70s, where, he's getting booked for crazy roles, and you're thinking, wow, he's going to get that Oscar. And nope, I hate the Academy. He is my favorite actor, by far. However, this is his only appearance in the Super 16. And kind of what I see in this film is his range is what really shows it. At the beginning of the movie, he's just kind of like, he's still nervous, but he has the plan to go into the bank, 5 minutes, and you're done. You think. And then by the time the movie gets going, the rock gets pushing and everything, you kind of see him crumble. You see him get more manic. The scenes where he's outside of the bank, like making the supporters go nuts.
What's he doing? When you get back over there? What are you moving in there for? When you get the fuck back there? Get back there! Get over there! Go back there, man! Get over there! He wants to kill me so bad he can taste it. I'm always gonna kill him. Attica! Attica!
It does a great job during like those events that you want to see, that stuff that makes it so like people can just grab on and latch on to like true crime stuff and whatnot. And really in an age when that stuff didn't even exist. Now you see that everywhere, and you kind of see that fantasization of criminals in that way. And that's kind of where you see that in Dog Day Afternoon, because the whole crowd is egging on Sonny. He's egging on Sonny. He's egging on his partner. I forgot his name. Leave me alone. It just does a really good job at that. And it also has a good representation of trans and gay visibility, because it's realized that Sonny's bisexual and he's dating a trans man. And you kind of see like this whole layer of, oh, he really cares about him. So he wants to give his life insurance money to his husband, because they were married. They're married. And so he wants to give him the money for the sex change. So I think that the script is really well done. Everyone in that is acting in this film is great. I think it's a top 5 Pacino performance for me. if we were to take like all of his leading man roles, it's in the top 5. I mean, like, come on. This film is one of my favorites. And it's just like a great political piece. It's a good piece of the 70s that you kind of don't really see. So I thought this movie it's perfect. I think it's one of the perfect films that I've seen of Al Pacino's, especially coming off the run of the 70s. But I think this film has a place in the culture that I think people don't overlook. So that's just kind of like my take on it. But obviously, I'm down to hear what you guys say. I just really like this film. I really do. It's amazing. Okay, coming in at number 13. I know this says The Dark Knight, but it's right here. It's The Dark Knight. Not Batman Begins and not The Dark Knight Rises, but The Dark Knight. The second installment in Nolan's Batman trilogy is arguably my favorite superhero movie. There is another Batman film here. There is one, and I have it slightly higher than The Dark Knight, but don't get it twisted. It's like a child from divorce. It's like one weekend I have The Dark Knight, the other weekend I have the Batman. Like it's that simple. It's that easy for me to say. But I have seen this film 4,000 times. I could literally do a one-man reincarnation of this movie on Broadway. I think it's great. I think it has a perfect balance of villains, you know, with the mob. The start with Scarecrow, Joker throughout the whole film, you know, Batman kicking the shit out of mentally ill people. It has that perfect ball of realness and comic book edge that I'm kind of like, whoa, how did Nolan do this? And obviously you gotta give the praises to Heath Ledger. I think he is my favorite Joker variant that we've seen in movies, live action anyway, and he does a fantastic job with all the mannerisms, you know, doing like the clapping. That part's really good. Him like fiddling around with like the bomb at the hospital when he's blowing up all the hospitals. He does it really good, but there is also another side to it that not a lot of people discuss when talking about this film. Bale, Oldman, and Eckhart are like the mid-2000s Miami Heat in this film. Especially Eckhart. Having the whole structure of the film kind of go around Dent, and at like the halfway point, you get to the part when he's Two-Faced. It's perfect. I think this is one of the best. That end where, you know, the Joker technically wins and drives Batman out of Gotham really helps this movie elevate to one of my favorites. It shows his range. It shows Eckhart's range, going from the cocky swagger of Harvey Dent to he's broken. The system broke him. Like, he thought that he had a chance, but the coin flipped wrong, and it's just great. It's great. Gary Oldman too does a good job at playing it. He does a really good job. I will admit. I think he's a good Jim Gordon. I mean, Batman 2022 I think has the better Gordon. But I mean, even then, he does a really good job showing how Gordon is like tactical and how like he's a good like cop that wants to see Gotham grow. But then once you get to the end of the film and you see how everything gets broken, then you kind of get to the point where it's like, whoa, because I mean his family's gonna get murdered right in front of him. So it's just crazy to me how good all four of the leads, especially Bale. Oh my goodness, Bale. I think he's the GOAT. He's my favorite Batman. Like, look, I have the Lego back there. Hold on. I have the tumbler, and he's in there, and Bale is in there. He's right here. Bale does a great job. Bale does a great job at giving the range that Bruce Wayne and Batman need to be not just one character, but two really separate characters. It's kind of lost in comic book media to where, you know, you see one actor play Spider-Man really good, but then he's not a good Peter Parker. Or you see someone play Superman and they're a good Clark Kent, but they might not be a good Superman. That kind of thing. You kind of see how Batman affects not only Batman, but also Bruce Wayne. You kind of get that level of just locked in, laser focused everything that makes this film basically the perfect superhero. It to me, that's what it is. And the score, I don't play about this score. Top 5 scores of all time for me. So yeah, I could gush on this. I could gush for this movie for like another like 50 hours. But we have 12 more movies to go, and I don't want to get into Maggie Gyllenhaal as the love interest. So
and finally, I must say that Maggie Gyllenhaal was weak as the love interest, because I didn't buy her at all.
coming in at number 12 is Seven. I don't know how I went so long without watching this movie. I don't. I really don't. My main reasons for liking this movie is the slow burn. The slow burn of of Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman as these two detectives slowly going through the 7 deadly sins was great, because you had Morgan Freeman do a really good job being that you know, he's doing everything by the book. He is a really good detective, and he does a good job making sure that there is a balance of our two main characters. Here he is, cold, like cool, whatever. But then you have Brad Pitt's character, who slowly loses his mind while they investigate more and more and more and more and more. It does a really great job with how the suspense is, with how violent it is, and you kind of have this game of cat and mouse that you already know what's gonna happen by the end. You already know. It does a good job with having Pitt kind of just collapse, and he is probably the best part of this film by far. Brad Pitt does a really good job going in deep at the start, and then by the end he's cooked. He is cooked. I hate who plays John Doe, but I mean, for the 30 minutes of screen time he has, he is insane. That detective scene where he rolls up, his fingerprints are gone, and he rolls up and he's yelling, "Detective!" Wow. It had me floored. And the ending is just the best. It's one of the best cinematic endings ever. I'm not gonna spoil it. You've probably seen it like 50 times. They've parodied it like so many times. You probably know how this movie ends. I mean, I knew how the movie ended. I just didn't know what was in the box. And the whole film literally leads up to it, and you're like, whoa. Wow. It's just an amazing crime film. It adds so much. I saw this unspoiled, and you should too. I think it's great. I think it's one of David Fincher's best films, by far. Next to Social Network. I think we can all agree on that. This is my favorite Fincher film. That's just me, though. But, yeah, that's kind of the spiel that I have about this movie. I don't want to go into specifics, but if you've never watched this movie, please. It's amazing. At number 11, we have The Batman by Matt Reeves. I'm not gonna hold you, it took me 3 times to get why people on Twitter and why people on Letterboxd love this film. Love it. And after seeing it 3 times over, I can admit, yeah, this like I said with The Dark Knight, it's like a divorced dad. I'm either having The Dark Knight a weekend, or I'm having The Batman for a weekend. It's great. My favorite thing about this film is that it shows the more detective side of Batman. Yeah, The Dark Knight might have that. It kind of does. Does it? I mean, I'm not sure. I gotta watch it again. But this part does... This version of Batman adds that layer of world's greatest detective. It does. All of the riddles he solves are instant when he's coming through the ceiling and he drops down to investigate the murder scene of the former mayor. It shows that he's like, oh, this is how he died. It rolled off over here. It does so well at that picking the right villain made sense. And it made sense that it was the Riddler. Now, contrary to someone who lives in Israel, Paul Dano does an amazing job as the Riddler. He does. Because it's not Jim Carrey where he's going, hoo-hee-ha. No, he is scary. He is what the Riddler is supposed to be. Scary, conniving, plotting. Like he's like a little rat. Like, Batman beats him, but not with his fists, with his mind. And that's where you kind of see that difference. And adding the Mob and the Penguin too is kind of like a on the side kind of thing. It also elevates the story because it makes Gotham much larger than it is. And it's just great. It's just great. I think it's amazing, and it shows how deep this version of Batman can go. And it does, and the story just complements it perfectly. All of the characters have their own stuff to do, and everyone is doing something. Everyone is doing something. You don't have like, oh, what happened to this character? Oh, or what happened to that character? Nah, you have people doing their jobs in the story to make it completely work. And by the end of the film, you're like, wow, Matt Reeves captured what Batman is to a T. To a T. Now, obviously, I don't know where the sequel is. We're going to be waiting till 2067 to get part 2. I don't even think it comes out. It's going to be like GTA 6, where we're going to be waiting and waiting and waiting. And by the time we get part 2, Pattinson's already like 50 years old and he can't do it anymore. So I think it does a great job with making Batman feel like Batman. And it's just an amazing film. It's just an amazing film. And I still trust Reeves to deliver for Batman Part 2. 100%. Oh, man. He's gonna Reeves all over it. He's just gonna Reeves all over it. So, yeah. And the Batmobile makes me nut a little bit. With how it starts and stuff. Yeah. I'm checking my pants. Aisle 3, clean up my pants. Coming in at number 10 is Drive. Call me a 12-year-old all you want. This is a masterpiece. This is a masterpiece. Now, what makes Drive a masterpiece, you say? Obviously, the stellar acting by yours truly. I mean, like, come on, y'all saw me in that movie. But for real, I think the acting is something that it has a lot of range with all of its cast. Oscar Isaac, Bryan Cranston, the one mob guy. It has that perfect balance of amazing action, and it has that certain, like, thing that makes it just really well. Nicholas Winding Fenn, he does an amazing job balancing action and sadness in this. This is like film noir to me. Now, I probably pissed some people off when I said that. I just think that's what it is to me. And of course, for a movie called Drive, I mean, there's only like 2 driving scenes in the whole movie, but they do have that perfect blend of action where you're just kind of like, whoa, like, wow, it's awesome. Like, the action is just, it's not glorified, it's not fantasized. It's just that perfect sprinkle of gruesome and have that edge to it that you're just kind of like, wow. It's just great. It's great storytelling. I think this is one of my favorite Ryan Gosling performances. I've seen more, obviously, but it's up there. Top 3. And really, everyone is kind of a bad person in this movie. So, seeing the way that this movie ends, you're kind of just like, I really rooted for that. Which is crazy. But at the same time, it's like, there's depth here. It had me glued to the screen at all times. It had me wanting to come back for more. Try not to rewatch so many movies this year. But it also gives it that something that it's like, wow, you can't ignore it. And the soundtrack too, it complements it really well. So, yeah, I hope Her Private Hell, his newest film, is really good. I heard mixed feelings. I've heard really bad things about that movie. I hope it's not bad. But, you know, this movie can't be topped. Again, call me 12 years old all you want. It's art. It's art. At number 9, Civil War. Whoa. Seeing this film in the theater for the first time, it was like a Tuesday afternoon. Leaving that theater, it changed my brain chemistry. This movie kind of helped develop my rule for A24 films, and if you don't know what that rule is, it's either going to be the best of the best or complete dog shit. No in between. This buffer right here doesn't exist. Either it's here or it's there. And what I really like about this film is how it just adds a layer of kind of like real world elements in this dystopian future where we see a second civil war, and you kind of see how divided people really are in this America, in this version of America. And it hits harder when you realize that we're still having some of these effects to this day with this film. Kali Spaney, Kristen Webb. What was his name? Wagner Moura is in this movie. I know that. I wish this film had like the back of like who's all in it. But it adds that layer of this could happen in the real world, and you can see that in characters here with this kind of road movie where you kind of see the landscape changing of this film. That's kind of the landscape that you see now in America, where it's like people are all different shapes and sizes, but they're kind of like, what kind of American are you? It's kind of like Jesse Plemons' character, who is like that redneck that is just like he's like, are you really American? And he shoots you because you aren't his version of American. It spoke to the political climate of what's going on now, back in 2024, and it's still relevant today. It has just this great political climate edge that you kind of see. I wish this film had more to explore, because I really like what Alex Garland did in this film to kind of get that ball rolling and get someone like you to think what's in your head for this film. But even then, this film was awesome. And the cinematography too, it's class. It's class. That scene where they're all going through like the forest that's burning. Oh, in fuego. That's how I was, in fuego. It just speaks to it now, and it does, and it has so many anxiety-inducing moments. By the end of the film, you're just like, whoa, this was great. Like, it has to settle, and once it settles, you kind of see where they're getting at. I personally, this was my favorite film of 2024. And to me, I think it holds up now. I haven't seen it since 2024. But even now, I think it's amazing. It's amazing. If you've never seen it, it's a really good A24 film. Really good. Alex Garland hit it out of the park again. So, yeah. I really love this.
I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
At number 8, we have Network. Another Sidney Lumet film. Him and Nolan are tied on this list. You'll see why. But him and Nolan are tied on this list. And also, shout out Criterion. Ooh. Mini unboxing. Hold on. Oh, I fuck with this so heavy. I think this is a really good disc art. Anyway, back to the film. Howard Beale, which, like Peter Finch, he does an amazing job at figuring out that level of crazy where you're not as the audience member are scared, but are like entranced into the film. Like, he did an amazing job with that whole scene where he's like telling everyone to get up from their television sets, go out to the window, and tell them how mad they are at the world. And that also kind of speaks to today. That whole monologue, I'm not going to play it because it hits a lot harder when you watch the movie, goes off the rails. It goes off everything, but it's still relevant today. That's kind of the lasting impact that I have with this movie. That it lasts for a lifetime. It's a great commentary of how news is like affecting our relationships in our mind. And when you speak out about it, the executives, the head honchos at the top, will exploit that and put you everywhere. And that's kind of the main rundown with this film specifically, where big tech is where now we're seeing big tech go off the rails. We're seeing that whole monologue where Howard meets the big IBM mogul or wherever that dude's company was from, and he starts going off about how there is no government, there is no nothing, it's just the big corporations, and ooh, it's like that Rock meme. It elevates it to where you just kind of go, wow, like the whole 121 minutes does a great job at exploring how media can affect you personally and how it can affect people that have worked in this industry. It's insane. It's amazing. I think it's a really good social commentary. So, if you haven't seen this, right now, as of recording, it's 50 off at Barnes, man. It's $20, or I think it is $20. Or like 10. Go get it. Go watch it. And when you come back and you're gonna tell me, hey man, I saw the movie. I'm gonna be like, what did you think? And you're gonna be like, you were right. And look what happens. So yeah, I think this film is great. I love it. It's great. It's amazing. It really shows how films that were made in the 70s still have cultural impact in this current moment. It's an amazing film. I love it. This is probably like one of the films that I would recommend to someone. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I would recommend this to someone who's not a cinephile. Yeah. At number 7, we have Donnie Darko. Now, first things first, I know what you're thinking. Why is it a gray ray? Arrow Video, shout out. This is, now, there are 2 cuts of this film. The one I'm holding right now is the theatrical. So, it sucks that I don't have access to the director's cut. I prefer the director's cut, but as kind of like a good opening to it, as like a sci-fi film, I think the director's cut is good. If you really like it, go seek out the director's cut because it explains a lot more of the time travel elements that Donnie Darko possesses. So, going into it, Jake Gyllenhaal is great. Drew Barrymore in this film is great. Patrick Swayze is just crazy in this film because he kind of has this facade, and then once something happens in the film that Donnie does, that kind of gets the ball rolling on all of these events, 28 days. It kind of does a really good job at handling those themes of, like time travel and mental illness as well. Jake Gyllenhaal is great as Donnie. He does a really good job going from manic when he sees the visions of Frank. He does a good job at like being scared for his life. He has that range that you kind of see in later stages of like film careers. He did this when he was young. 2001. This kid, he looks young in this movie. But you kind of see that great like angle of Donnie and Frank kind of having this like good versus evil mentality. And even then, this film has horror elements too. Like Frank, like some scenes with Frank are like unsettling and unnervy. It makes his presence like truly effed when Frank is basically doing the time meme, you know? So he does a good job with... So Richard Kelly does a really good job with how Donnie should be and how he needs to be portrayed. And I think him casting Jake Gyllenhaal is a great like contrast, because he can do it well. And the whole supporting cast is also amazing. I'm not gonna spoil the film, but I will say, to me, I think this is horror. This is the only horror film that you're gonna see, and it's horror adjacent. There's scary stuff, so I say seek this out if you want to. It's a great sci-fi movie anyway, and it holds a special place in my heart. This movie is fantastic. I love it. In at number 6, this is Martin's only appearance on this list. It's Goodfellas. When I saw this on Netflix for the first time when I was a high school sophomore, I think it instantly hooked me into wanting to become a cinephile. It really did. The opening is probably one of the most iconic openings in all of cinema. And it just goes from there. You see the life of Henry Hill go crazy. He goes from this, this little like runt and whatnot as someone who's like, oh, he likes the life. He can't have the full benefits of the life because he's Irish, but he loves the life. The life is the only thing that he can do. And it's great. Pesci and De Niro complement that amazingly too. Pesci and De Niro do such an amazing job in this film that you're just kind of like, whoa, what? And yes, Pesci won. He won an Oscar for this performance, which kind of speaks to how impactful he is in this film.
You're a big guy. You're a pussy. Really funny. Really funny. What do you mean I'm funny? It's funny, it's a good story. It's funny. You're a funny guy. What do you mean? You mean the way I talk? What? It's just, you're just funny. It's funny, the way you tell the story and everything. Funny how? I mean, what's funny about it?
Tom, you got it all wrong.
Oh, Anthony. He's a big boy. He knows what he said. What'd you say?
You're right.
Funny how? What?
Just, you're funny.
You mean,
So?
well, let me understand this, because maybe it's me, I'm a little up, maybe. But I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you. I make you laugh. I'm here to fucking amuse you. What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Not just, how you tell the story. What?
No, I don't know. You said it. How do I know? You said I'm funny. How the fuck am I funny? What the fuck is so funny about me? Tell me. Tell me what's funny.
Get the fuck out of here, Tommy.
Yeah, I almost had him. You stuttering prick yet? Frankie, was he shaking? I wonder about you sometimes, Henry. You may fold under questioning.
Add to it that all three of them have really good anchor spots. They all do an amazing job elevating the film into what it can be. It's great. And then obviously the author of the book who did, well, I guess you could say this is the third true story. But the author of the book, who did Wise Guy, also served as the writer, and he did an amazing job putting it from page to screen, and it was incredible. It was incredible. It does its work so good that you're like, wow. By the end, you're just like, wow. It really shows the rise and the fall. But the fall, 0 to 100. 0 to 100. To me, this is the last good Mafia film. After this movie, there are a few movies that I can probably name off the top of my head that are really good Mafia films. Could I prove it? Probably. And it's just great. It's just great. And obviously, the music as well. Oh my goodness. Roll that scene, please.
It's getting near dawn when lights close the tired eyes.
There's no way. There's no way. It's a phenomenal film, start to end. It's, again, one of my favorite Scorsese films. It's up there. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you cringe. And by the end, it'll make you feel sorry for Henry. It will. It will. And that's kind of what I have for it. It's an iconic film from start to finish. Again, I have seen it like a million times. And I've read the book. And the book goes a lot deeper than what the film tells you. So, yeah. At number 5, Oppenheimer. To think, I was gonna say that this film is the most recent film in the Super 16, but I mean, Oppenheimer's right, but Dune is at 14. It was like a few years ago. Anyway, Oppenheimer is, I think, Nolan's second best. It's Nolan's second best, in my eyes. It takes a 3-hour biopic of someone that, not many history. If you're not in history class, you're like, why did this guy need a 3-hour biopic? By the end of the film, you go, no wonder he needed a 3-hour biopic. Wow. The drama here is amazing. It's amazing. For someone who's building the nuclear bomb and having the constraints of war behind them, you cannot tell me that is amazing. You can't. Cillian Murphy does a really good performance as Oppenheimer. RDJ, I haven't seen RDJ act like that since he was coming off of the drug charges. He put his soul into this role as Strauss, and he is, I dare say, he's the best part of Oppenheimer. 100%. All of his scenes make it so like Cillian Murphy is one person. It's like David and Goliath. And it works so well because obviously you have Oppenheimer go off of, what, like color, like real world stuff. And then everything in the courtroom with Strauss's hearing to try to get into the Senate and everything. Ooh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of moments where you kind of like hold your breath at when they're testing the nuke for the first time. When I saw this for the first time in the movie theater, it was amazing. Like you were literally holding your breath as you were getting flashbanged by the film. It does an amazing job at trying to get you to care. And that's what every movie should do. It gets you to care. It gets you to sit through a 3-hour biopic of someone who built the nuclear bomb, and it makes you go, wow. Like, you don't, like, Nolan, this is another challenge that Nolan takes head on, and he doesn't stop. He really doesn't stop. And if he doesn't stop, he's just going to keep going. And he's going to show you how you can care for the person that built the nuclear bomb. And of course, obviously the supporting cast is great. Emily Blunt did a really good performance as Oppenheimer's wife. Matt Damon as the general. Florence Pugh, for like the 5 minutes that she's in this movie, really gives it her all as kind of like this contrasting figure. And one more thing, the score. Ludwig Göransson, I believe, has one of the better like orchestral like earpieces when it comes to scoring films. He has done a few films, like, he's done, Black Panther, Sinners, he did Tenet. I love the Tenet score. And obviously with Nolan's next picture, he's going to be there putting 110% in the film score. So it's hard not to look at this picture and go, wow. It's truly a marvel of filmmaking, that it makes you go, whoa. Like, your head turns into the nuclear bomb, and you're just kind of like, wow, he really is the modern day Prometheus of how he gave us the atomic bomb, and now we have to live under the constant fear that we are going to get bombed. And yes, I saw this over Barbie. I did. Am I ashamed? Hell no. Hell no. It was great. I would love to watch this film again and again and again in the theater. And number 4, La Haine. Now, it's not. Now, this is the first time a foreign film is here, but I think La Haine is the perfect French film to me. I don't even need to say anymore. I just have to say it. It's the perfect French film. It just is. It doesn't even feel like a film. It feels like a memoir of a day in the life of Vinz and Hubert and Saeed. That's what it feels like. It's like Mateo. I'm just gonna say his first name. I'm not gonna butcher it. Mateo does an amazing job with making sure that Vinz, Hubert, and Saeed are like real people. And that's what I love about it. That's like the main takeaway that I think you can see, where they feel like real, genuine people. It's like real people. Where, that day, like the movie starts with Saeed and looking at all of the cops because of the riots the last night. He draws the graffiti. He goes to Vince's suburb, to get the dude so that they can go visit Hubert at the gym that got affected by the riots. And it just goes from there. It's not like you're watching 3 actors act. It's like you are watching people from France there. It adds that layer of realness where you're just kind of like, wow, is this real or is this fake? You genuinely can't tell. And even for a film, being in black and white, it's like art. It's like a canvas, and it's spread out all over. All of the shots, like the car shot with the BMW, the dual diopter shot where Vince sees one of his homies kill someone, where we see a lot of like the French influences of this film kind of like seep in there. It goes in there. And again, it's also crazy too, because the first half of the film, they feel more comfortable, you feel relaxed, you're laughing, it's like you're one of them in the film and everything. But then once they get to France, like Paris, it's a whole different world. Like even the camera zooms out from them being at the Eiffel Tower, and they're just there in France, and you just they're just there in Paris, and you just kind of see them journey through Paris in the night. It's a great, it's a great like backdrop to seeing a day in the life of these guys after what happened the night before, and kind of the whole de-escalation of everything. It was crazy. And you also see a lot of like love to France too. It shows how, while it's not perfect, it's not a perfect vision, it shows how grounded everything can be. Everyone's like, they're all speaking in French, but they all have this like moniker where they've known each other for like 5 years, they've been to school together. It shows that level of them just being people. And it's like, again, it's a slow burn until the end, and boom, everything happens all at once. And like I said, I think it's a beautiful film. I don't relate to a lot of it, but what I do relate to is that kind of those like the 3 main characters and all that stuff. And of course, the soundtrack is bopping too. Like, come on. Like that TJ scene, and we're like at the suburb there. That's a hard ass scene. That's a hard ass scene right there. Hard as hell. Like you have to like start shazamming stuff from the movie to put that on your playlist. It's a fantastic film, and again, looking at the box, it's Criterion. I bought this blind, and look where it ended up. I've told people about this film, and they've seen it, and they love it. This was one of my favorites of the last year that I've seen. Well, obviously it didn't come out last year, but last year I saw this, and I thought it was amazing. So, like I said, it's on sale. It's on sale. It's right here. So, yeah, it's amazing.
What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? Wallahi, what happened? Wallahi, what happened?
At number 3, we have Memories of Murder. This is a crime film done amazingly. Now, I'm going to admit something to you. I will sing the praises of this film. However, go into this film blind, and I would argue don't watch it again. After it, like, the second time I saw this, the allure was just gone for me. It was just gone for me. And it's just something that I wish didn't happen, but obviously when it's crime films and everything, you have to go into it blind, because if you're gonna be like, oh, I already know what happens, duh, you're not gonna get the same level of enjoyment. You're just not. No, you're not gonna get that same level of enjoyment. And it does a great job at being a crime thriller. And that's where I'm going to sing the praises. All three actors, or basically everyone in this film, does an amazing job being bad cops, or being bad detectives. They are overmatched. Every lead gets thrown back at them. They try to just solve this lickety-split, but, nothing happens. The investigation takes some time. There are a bunch of roadblocks and everything. And by the time you get to the end of the film, you're just kind of like, they couldn't do it. They couldn't. After try, after try, after try, it just eats at them. I've been using this the whole video, but it's a slow burn. It's a slow burn. And it's the tip of the iceberg. It's a good procedural based on a true story. It's the tip of the iceberg when it comes to crime films like this. It shows how overmatched they are. By the end of the film, you kind of see a swap between our two main characters, our two main detectives. And it adds this layer of gray where you're just kind of like, are we going to see the resolution to this? Are we going to see something that is going to resonate with people? And by the end of the film, you are going to be like, wow. It hits at you. It hits. It's like if the film looked at you at the end and said, maybe I did that. And I wasn't even born in the 80s or in South Korea. And yeah, and even then, fun fact, this film helped catch that killer because he saw the film. Have you ever heard of a film so impactful that it catches the criminal who did it 20 years later? Come on. Come on. Now, like I said, watch it once. You can watch it again over and over. I've seen it twice. But to me, I think this is a perfect crime procedural. I'm not saying that it's the perfect crime. Well, it is the perfect crime film, but it's done right. And it's done at a pace where it's kind of like you don't see this. You don't see this all that often in film. And it's just, oh my goodness, I could sing the praises of this film every day. Korean cinema in 2003 really had this movie and Old Boy back to back. Like, that's Barbenheimer for Koreans. That's crazy. But wow, it floored me the first time I saw it, and the second time I saw it, I could just appreciate it more. However, am I going to rewatch it? With people who haven't seen it, obviously. So, that's just kind of my take on it. At number 2 is Baby Driver. Now, if you were to tell me what is the greatest cinematic opening to a film that gets you pumped, that gets you ready for this, it's this film. You can find the full 6-minute uncut opening to the film. I've seen it like a million times. I'm always in awe. I'm always in awe. It's like when your English teacher tells you to write a hook for your sub-average essay, but the hook is so good that it ups the quality of the film a lot. It's running every red light. That's what it is. Having that opening sequence literally has me wanting more and more and more from this film. Now, it's creative. It's very creative as well because it's something that we've just never seen before. We've never seen it. I've never seen anything like it where it's just go, 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 go. There are stops, but this thing is all gas, no brakes. Now, for all the Fault in His Stars, Ansel Elgort is amazing as Baby. I think this is my favorite performance of his. The only performance of his that I deem top tier. And his supporting cast, Jamie Foxx, Elsa Gonzalez, John Hamm, and obviously the other guy are really good. They're really good. They have different areas where you're just kind of like, wow. Like, they all have the same level of crazy, but they're all different people. And Edgar Wright does such a great job at elevating everyone to that standard when it's like, dude, this is insane. And it has a really good adage of serious tones and that classic Edgar Wright humor where it's like fast cuts, funny things with the music and whatnot. And it just stands out. It stands out. I do believe that if we were to get a Baby Driver 2, obviously, I mean, we can't ignore that, like, 2 people in this cast could probably not come back. One of them definitely is not coming back. I hope he never touches a film set ever again. But the other one, he's kind of the most important thing to the film. So, but it stands out to me in that way where it's like, Baby Driver doesn't need a sequel. It's like The Nice Guys for me. It doesn't need a sequel, but I would like it. I wouldn't complain. I just don't think it needs one. So, to me, I really think that Baby Driver is that perfect action movie for me. I can put it on any time of the day, whether I'm sad or happy or anything. I could just put this movie on and go. And just go. And it's great. It's a great film for me. I think it's perfect. Edgar Wright, can we please get more movies faster? Please? But at the same time, he does an excellent job in not only the cinematography, but the way that everything moves. It has that certain level that I think is the only film that he can make that is great. And to me, it's a phenomenal film. And the soundtrack I have on vinyl. I'm not going to grab it, but it's there. And yeah, that soundtrack is amazing. Especially that one cut scene with the cut music as well. It's great. I just hope that we get a sequel, but given that Elgort likes kids, a man can dream.
私の顔に傷つけたってなったよ。私の全存在をかけて。
And at number 1 is Battle Royale. I could sing the praises about this film all day, every day. Like, wow, when you talk about 2-hour spectacles, you don't get much more than that. Wow. It has everything you need. It has amazing emotional anchors of all of our characters, especially our 2 main characters, in Shuya and Noriko. You have an amazing subcast that elevates this film, that shows a lot of the depth that these characters need. You have an exceptional score, amazing directing by Kinji Fukusaku. I hope I said that right. And just everything from the beginning of the film to where they're on the bus, they're there, they're thinking that they're going to have an amazing time on the field trip. and then they get plunged into the island, and and it just goes 0 to 100 fast. And then when day one happens, when they all have their gear and everything, it just kicks off, and it is a spectacle. It is amazing. It's amazing. You know, Kiriyama as a looming threat to our protagonist is an amazing jump, because you know he's not like everyone else. You really don't think he is like everyone else. But having him and having, you know, Kitano as like a secondary villain, but he's not really a villain because he wants Noriko to win, has this layer of like, he's flawed. He's a really flawed character, to where you think he's gonna be like this caretaker to these kids, but by the end you're just kind of like, wow, that was fucking dark. And Kinji uses like his own experiences, from what I've like read and stuff, where he's used his own experiences from, you know, working in munitions factories in World War II, and having that whole that feel of dread, because that munitions place got bombed. And so him seeing his dead friends and everything in that factory kind of elevates that into this film, because you kind of see like how they react when their friends die. Like that whole lighthouse scene is a perfect amalgamation of, when it hits you, it just hits you. The waves just come in and you're just like, what's going on? Like, wow. And a lot of the kid actors, I gotta say, have great range too. I don't think I've seen kid actors have that much range divided into all of them, because they knew what they were doing and they did it so good. So good. I have never seen a film that has that many, like, you know, unknowns, or that many people that you know, you would think like, oh, in Japanese media, you're like, oh, that's how they got their start and all that stuff. So I just think that Battle Royale kind of elevated films for me, because it shows how deep characters can get. It showed me how you can use violence to kind of like not glamorize it. And it kind of just shows that, you know, when our education systems are flawed, people will, like, they'll go to like extreme lengths just to be like, yeah, this is like the perfect thing. Like this is the better alternative. And I mean, this film sparked a whole subgenre of media. I mean, we have the Hunger Games, Fortnite, Battle Royale, like Fortnite, we have PUBG, we have all of these films, and all of these pieces of media that in one way or another got shaped by people watching Battle Royale illegally, because, I mean, this film didn't come to the States till the 2000s. So it does an amazing job just kind of elevating action, horror, character motives, like romance, like you don't need the kids kissing or doing anything to elevate their relationships. It's all there in the form of, like, you know, crushes and internal struggles with each other that were just like, why didn't you say anything about me before I killed you in this? We need to get off this island now. So I don't know. I just think that it's such a controversial film, but it's also a hallmark of cinema, especially Japanese cinema. To me, this movie kind of introduced me to the gateway of Japanese cinema. That's why I have the Perfect Blue poster in the background. That's why I've tried to get into more foreign cinema. It's all because of this film. And to me, that's why it's the perfect film. To me, anyway. It has everything that I want in a film, and it's just great. It's really my favorite film of all time. It just is. Please seek it out. Please. That's like the one thing. I want people to watch this movie. That's what I want. Just people to watch this movie. I'll read the novel someday. Someday I will read the novel. So, yeah. Alright, well, that was the Super 16. Like I said, form your own opinions. If you've seen any of these 16 films, tell me what you think about them. If you were to give my 16 films in a list, where is each one going? If you've seen all 16 of them, it's better than doing a standard 10 or 8. So I just think that having this Super 16 was a lot of fun for me. So yeah, so if you ever want to judge me based on what I like in movies, these 16 are that hallmark. These 16 are kind of the movies that helped shape my thinking into films. Obviously, this list might change. I don't know what it's gonna be in a few years. I don't even know what it's gonna be tomorrow. But I hope with going on this journey of what I like, maybe you'll find something that you like out of these 16. Maybe you hate all of these. That's fine. Form your own opinion. Who cares? But anyway, my arm is getting tired from holding all of these 16. So yeah, just want to say thank you for watching. I'm really appreciative that you stayed for the full, I don't know how long, and listen to me yap about my favorite movies. If there's any ideas, drop them in the comments that you want to see me talk about. I could go through the full collection, which will take a long time, and I haven't seen all of them, but I will definitely go through some highlights of the full collection. And yeah, so this has been Abraham from Raptors Movies, and thank you for watching. Follow me on Letterboxd, follow me on Twitter, both down there in the description. And yeah, thank you so much for watching.